feel like the title of A Very Merry Mix-Up is a terrible idea because straight away, within the first sort of 10 minutes, maybe 15, I knew what that referred to, and I found that really disappointing because it would have been such a fantastic surprise. So I'm not going to say what it refers to, but I will discuss it towards the end of this in more detail. But for now, I will kind of pussyfoot around it. But I will say that this film was absolutely fantastic, and I did enjoy it from start to finish, primarily because I love Hallmark. Alicia Witt is one of my favourite Hallmark actors. There was a lot in this that I was going to like. This was released in 2013, directed by Jonathan Wright, written by Barbara Kymlicka, and stars, of course, Alicia Witt as Alice and Mark Wiebe, please pronounce me if I've mispronounced that horribly, as Matt. And the description from IMDb sums it up the best way possible without giving any of those spoilers. And this says, Alice is set to meet her future in-laws for the first time, but things don't go according to plan. So she has to go and meet her in-laws, but she has to go on her own. Her fiance is held up with business. He'll join her later. And she has to spend time with these in-laws, with this family, on her own until her fiance gets there. And it's all about her bonding with this family. And I will say that her fiance is absent for the most of it, which was necessary for this to work as a narrative. And that all sounds interesting. And I can't really say why it was a little bit unfair about the title, but I will say that she meets Matt at the airport, and she quickly realizes that he is also a Mitchum. Her fiance is a Mitchum, and massive coincidence, huge coincidence. And there's a kind of, we can tell as the viewer that there's a spark between Matt and Alice, even though she's newly engaged to who she believes is the love of her life. But as an audience, we maybe know a little bit better what will happen at the end and how it will resolve itself. I'm not going to say, but I will say I was pleased with it. I was really pleased with the outcome and the direction that this took as the narrative progressed. It's very festive, loads of family fun activities and traditions, decorating the tree, ornaments, Christmas carols, singing, karaoke, a lot of fun, really brilliant to watch, really liked Alice as a character, really, she's one of the most likeable Hallmark characters. I genuinely wanted the best for her, and it wasn't clear what her decisions would be towards the end, but I'm pleased. Okay, so the spoiler. I'm about to reveal what the film is actually about. I won't say how it concludes, but if you want to know what I meant about the title, this is where the spoiler comes in. But it's not really a spoiler, it's blatantly obvious. So she meets this Mitchum at the airport, Matt Mitchum, and it turns out that it's just a complete coincidence. Her fiance is called Will Mitchum, absolutely no relation to Matt Mitchum, but for some reason she just assumed straight away that it was the same person. There are coincidences, but it becomes pretty obvious immediately when she starts to mention things about her fiance Will that doesn't add up with what the family know about him. I just think if they'd changed the title and didn't make it blatantly obvious, the surprise element would have been so powerful and moving and quite a shake-up for a Hallmark film, because usually they're not that eventful. So I feel like they made a really bad decision with the title, but beyond that, every decision made I agree with. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Absolutely, if you haven't seen it, worth the watch. Even when it's obvious about this mix-up, it's still enjoyable. Would have been more enjoyable without it, I think. But regardless, A Very Merry Mix-Up is one that I'm very happy to recommend.